lot of people ask this question: why are black women really angry today? I have an answer to that question. It's actually pretty simple. Black women are really angry because this is why. They are so sick and tired, and they are extremely fed up. Why? Because all they do is get treated like shit all the time. Sadly, in society, in this generation, black women are the most hated, mistreated, and the most disrespected human beings in the planet. Which I don't understand why. And here's a problem. The problem is that not only people look at them and just assume she has anger problems, and they just get thrown under the bus by not just other individuals who don't look like them. But unfortunately, black men, not all, they do it the most. Because I've been seeing a lot of them on TikTok and other social media platforms who disrespect and bash black women the most. But it doesn't matter. All I'm asking is this, is that people need to stop throwing hate and stop bashing one another and just look at each other and just say, you are a human being and you deserve to be treated with respect, regardless of who and what you are or where you're from originally. Sadly, today, black women are the most mistreated humans. And they don't deserve it. Nobody does. We're all one race, the human race. And black women are queens, that they have value, and they deserve to be treated with love and kindness and respect. Black is beautiful.
Oh, you were finished? Oh, well, allow me to retort.
All right, this gentleman he's Elton Andrade. He's a 26-year-old Portuguese native of, the colonies over here, lives in California. And I'm not surprised given what I just heard. Okay? We have another white savior. All right, he's a white savior and he wants to know why black women are angry all the time. He tries to explain it away. He says that they're the most disrespected. He says they're the most disrespected demographic. Over here in America, 3Ks instead. I'm taking account that he's 26 years old, still wet behind the ears. Elton. The reason that black women are angry is because they have been socially engineered to be so. Okay? They have been socially engineered for over 140 years. All right? And they've been placed at the head of the table, a responsibility they largely were unprepared for. And everything that has occurred before has become a perversion of itself, generation after generation and whatnot. There's been no checks and balances amongst their ranks, excluding the male counterpart. Ethnically and genetically speaking, there's been no checks and balances and whatnot. So they've been building on a flawed system and shit. I can skip ahead, but around the late 60s, early 70s, there was an operation called COINTELPRO that was designed to destabilize the black community here in the country because of, civil rights movement and shit. They wanted us to stay in a certain place economically, or anything, but I want you to enjoy your privilege and leave us alone, okay? I think we've had enough interested parties coming into our communities across the diaspora and fomenting chaos and destruction and upsetting the natural order of things. If it's meant to be, it will happen naturally or organically. If you're religious, it will happen spiritually and whatnot. It's really none of your business why black women are so angry. And a lot of them will tell you that, even though they will give you your flowers because you are telling them what you want to hear. They do not want to hear the truth of the matter, that they have been set up to fail. And knowing this, that, the majority that, people will share some of your genetics. They have set them up to fail on purpose, right? They put them at the head of the table, make them the heads of the family. They let them go around saying they're the mothers and the fathers of the children and whatnot. And the children are failing, okay? You have incredible amounts of illiteracy, criminal behavior in female-led households for the most part and whatnot. They love to get the flowers, but they don't want to prick their fingers on the thorn and shit. They want to throw rocks and hide their hands, but it's 2024. but just not for the shits. Okay, I'm a straight black man. I'm much older than you by a few decades and whatnot. I think that maybe you mean well, and you know that's up to you. Whatever your intentions are, I think that you're pandering, right? Now, I would be remiss to tell you to go fuck yourself, but that'd be rude. Okay, I had a public education, but I speak the Queen's English quite nicely, actually. I have a huge vocabulary. It's done me a disservice in this communities that, your forebears built with the help of the black women, the gynocracy and shit. That is a real thing and shit. Our community, our ethnic community is run by women, right? A lot of our politicians are women. They sit at the right hand of people with your lack of melanin, all right? And they have been lording it over us and making decisions detrimental to our community's health, mentally and otherwise, for generations. I think it's egregious for you to ask this question of us when you could be living a nice, living in that bubble. All right, make that bubble less opaque. All right, make it less opaque, and you turn around and you look at your situation and you live your life, and you stay out of our lane and shit. Black women will change when they want to or not, and I tend to lean towards the latter. It's been it's been 100 plus years, right? And more recently, misandry. Black female misandry is at an all-time high and shit. That's been over the last 47 years. Whatnot. They have the mental acumen and that they share the ideology of the worst racists from the Jim Crow South, and that they are actively looking to hamstring it and keep their men as a permanent underclass under their foot and thumb. And thumb if you're lucky. Okay? We are nothing but a genetic and economic commodity for them to use at their and discard at their at their leisure. Right? This is very complicated, young man. This is very complicated. I think that you should go find something else to latch on to and shit. We've had enough missionaries down here. You've seen the result of that shit, but you would rather hide in your skin and tell yourself that you're doing the right thing and shit. I don't know if you're trying to get into heaven or you legitimately feel this way, but it's really none of your business. And it's egregiously offensive for you to come into our conversation, all right? Where you have no place here. There's no place at the table for you unless the woman want to put a milk crate down there so you can sit there. I'm sure that a lot of these women would be happy to witness your ideology and shit because you're pandering. You're pandering, man. Okay, and I like to think you're intelligent. You have had more opportunities than I probably had in the last 55 fucking years and shit. So, I'd be remiss not to side-eye you as a practicing agent of chaos yourself. Maybe you can study Gloria Steinem, Margaret Sanger. You can study, J. Edgar Hoover, the whole COINTELPRO deal. All right, you can study economics and redlining, all that bullshit before you start asking these questions and shit. Okay, Lyndon Baines Johnson, all right, former president, he set up the welfare system and gave these women set-asides with the condition that black men could head those households that were receiving federal aid. What do you think the natural result of that would be? Okay, what are we looking at today? We're looking at women who have the mindsets of men, the aggression, male, almost testosterone full aggression, all right? And they discount their men and sons. They set them up to fail, all right? They hamstring them from the moment they come out of their wombs and shit. You're talking about a group of women that are irresponsible with their wombs and shit. 17 forms of birth control for the last 3 or 4 generations. They fail to make use of these You know, these things that help them medically and shit. You know, high rates of STDs as a result of this. You know, up until recently childbirth, but they have the largest number of self deletions. Same Margaret Sanger. They have the highest amount of self deletions to abort a lot of children. When they could have just used birth control or went into celibacy and shit. It's their body, their choice. That's what they tell us and whatnot. And in our community, they add an extra component in it that black women are they're not subject to address. You know, when they're out of pocket or doing something insane, you know, there's a problem with mental health amongst them. Okay, but you know, noxious, toxic gaslighting is par for the course and shit. I know that you seem to be doing this and whatnot. I'm going to ignore that. You're a kid, okay, Shelton or Elton, Mr. Andrade. I think maybe you can go to another community. So why don't you go over there and talk about immigration? Why don't you talk to the migrants about their situation? Yeah, we don't see enough videos about that. Why don't you guys go save them and shit, okay? You know, why don't you spread your gospel to other ethnic communities like